This is the era where he says Trump leaves office, and this is where the big fact check needed to happen.
It's off by a millimeter.
Right. It points to April 2020.
Don't look at anything to the right.
More than 8 months still left in his term. When
Let me get this straight. They're debunking Trump saying he left office with the lowest crossings of all time.
Somebody who doesn't have anything good to say is Daniel Dale on CNN. And yesterday he fact-checked Donald Trump's chart on immigration.
He still uses the chart to show monthly migrant encounters.
That's not Daniel Dale,
at the southern
but he'll
border.
make an appearance.
But a new CNN fact check shows the information he keeps sharing
That's when the Grinch stole dinner.
intentionally misleading, and doesn't show the full story at all.
Dinners,
Daniel Dale
plural.
is here now to fact check this for us. Daniel, what are you seeing in this chart that is just wrong?
Wrong, because it has to be wrong. By the way, they're talking about the chart that saved Donald Trump's life, according to Donald Trump. When he said it, he's like, I was looking at this chart and turned, and that's when the shot. Okay, so you guys remember all of that. So here, let me get quickly to their claim. They say that Trump deceives people by highlighting his lowest month of crossings on the chart instead of his last month.
So here's the lie. That arrow does not actually point to when he left office in January 2021, and it certainly doesn't point to his last week in office. What does it actually point to? It points to April 2020.
Don't look at anything to the
with
right.
more than 8 months still left in his term, when migration around the world plummeted because of the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Points right there. I love Tim's like, don't look at anything to the right. The rest of that chart doesn't
Can we bring
exist.
that chart up again?
Yeah, bring that. Bring just the overlay.
showing it.
Look at that.
Let me get this straight. They're debunking Trump saying he left office with the lowest crossings of all time.
Yes.
Like, well, actually, the lowest crossings of all time were 3 months prior in your presidency.
Yeah,
Like,
when you left, they
clearly
weren't
marked on the chart with the arrow, shared by the guy who's making the claim.
Yeah, I love that. So
So silly, dude.
here is the truth, as you've already heard a little bit. Illegal immigration under under the Harris administration at this
Thank
point,
you.
because I don't think we need to keep the charade going any longer.
Hey,
Joe
man.
Biden wasn't the president of the United States at all.
Not a
Fact check
joke.
me on that one. And the Harris administration, it was way higher than Trump. Trump's average monthly crossings, 62,602. Harris's average monthly crossing, 219,208. And that's a lot. By the way, that number probably needs to be revised up when you take into account they flew some people into the country as well.
with the special app
The
they got
special,
downloaded on their
you're
phone.
right. If you
CBP
scan
one.
the QR code on the cartel
it,
member's body, you get free access.
And a free $150,000 house.
What was that app? Redfin?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, absolutely. So that's why houses are going up. But also, in truth, more illegals with criminal records. Remember when Donald Trump says they're sending people from prisons, they're emptying their asylums, and they make fun of him for that? Maybe he's speaking in a little bit of hyperbole, but he's saying that, hey, more criminals are actually coming over. He could say it that way, I guess, but it wouldn't be kind of, the way that Trump does it. Under Trump, an average in a year for illegal immigration with criminal records, 5,484. Under the Harris administration, average for the year, 12,797. He was only right by a factor of at least 2.
Oh, so 100% increase?
Yes.
Very good.
Over 100%.
Over.
He always uses this stat to kind of undergird what's going on in Venezuela. He says they're emptying out their prisons, and
Right.
next time we might as well have our meeting in Caracas because it's going to be safer. They are emptying out their prisons. Maduro's admitted to doing
Yes.
as much. Like, these fact checks are just such a waste of time.
I know. Daniel Dale is such a waste of time.
I'm sorry. This headline on CNN is hilarious to me.
Yes. Trump claims if Jesus was the vote counter, he would win.
Thank you very much.
They just
That's
showed
awesome.
it on Dr. Phil.
That's silly.
And
Do you think Donald Trump wakes up in the morning, he's like, look what I'm going to do. They're going to cover it. Watch. And then somebody's like, boom, told ya.
what's funny is that CNN thinks that this is going to make us go, no, we love this. This is
Donald Trump's a comedian sometimes with this stuff, and I swear I think he trolls the media with this, like knowing they're going to pick up on this stuff. And he's going to be like, I know they would cover it.
They're so self-serious on CNN, dude. Just chill out, dude.
Well, look, they may be serious, but let me get back to their serious fact check, and then their serious way that they handle all of these things at the end. Daniel Dale actually does have to admit that encounters increased under Harris.
Now, it is true that the number of encounters continued to increase when President Biden and Vice President Harris took over.
At astronomical levels. The right side of the chart, like Donald Trump pointed at an arrow, and then right up there, it starts to get worse, and it's like, okay, well, that's where Donald Trump. Okay, then it's like, you know what I mean? Like
200% increase.
And he's like, well, they did go up, incrementally after. Anyway, fine, move on to the next chart, and the chart's it's just more of that. There are no better charts to go to. I just bring that chart up every single time, right?
To be clear, the chart is correct.
The chart is
talked about it. They don't like it.
It's true. Because it's true. Right. They also missed the forest for the trees yet again, and they are not a serious news outlet, as we just proved.
This is the era where he says Trump leaves office, and this is where the big fact check needed to happen.
It's off by a millimeter.
That's the bad arrow.
Daniel Dale, we always love having you. Thank you so much. John?
You approached the wall.
I touched the wall, and
went
now I'm in
all
deep
the way
trouble.
up to the wall. You almost touched
That's a
it.
highlight of their day.
I might have touched it, John, but don't tell anyone.
She just burnt half her daily calories right there.
Seriously, come on.
You guys should replace
Serious
me with her.
news. Serious news. Bring up CNN again in the lower corner. Still up there. Jesus.
This is a huge story for them.
Jesus.
This is crazy.
Counter.
This is crazy. He was probably part of some
I am Jim
rant.
Acosta from CNN, and he says that if Jesus was counting the votes, he'd win. Let's bring in our panel to see if that is, in fact, the case. Would Jesus declare Donald Trump the winner? Bob?
But they have a former Obama campaign manager
Yeah,
commenting on it for some reason.
Can you imagine the phone call like you get, like, hey, can you come on CNN here in like a couple of hours? What am I going to talk about? Well, he said Jesus said. If he was a vote
I got
counter,
this.
He's like, are you prepared for that?
They're about to bring Joel Osteen on to fact check this.
Now, let me tell you.
Let me tell you, I have money in the walls of my church.
That's
I don't
right.
really care what
You're
you
not
think.
Absolutely.
smiling quite big enough.
Hey, if you're still watching, you can comment below or click this video playing in a box. Shut up.
I just need
Shut up. You can tune in live weekdays, 10 a.m. Eastern, because that's the full show. Which you can say, shut.
I didn't say anything.
I know you didn't say anything. I could feel it. Click like.